Hello everyone, I'm Jen and this is a Sims 4 speed build. So before we get too deeply into this speed build, don't get your hopes up for too much. I tried to do like an 1800s, early 1900s, small town Main Street build initially. I have been actually working on this build since episode 2, and everything got really expensive really fast. I ended up opting for strip mall jewelry store instead. I'm really sorry. I tried. I did. But here's the thing. It takes such a long time to create each piece that my sim is basically gonna just be making the jewelry pieces while other sims do the actual selling and restocking and taking care of the shop and everything. And in order to have the money to do that right from the start, I had to make as cheap a shop as I possibly could. This one ends up being just under 11,500, which will leave us, a few thousand simoleons to pay employees and all that kind of stuff to get us started in making sales. Because once we move from the sales table to the shop, we're basically kind of starting from scratch, especially since it will be other Sims that will have to do the actual selling part while we make the jewelry. Now, I could be wrong. We could get enough of a stock built up that we don't end up having to rely on other Sims quite as much. I'm hoping that's the case. If so, we ended up with a cute little starter shop that we can build onto in future episodes if we want. But if not, if we really do have to rely on another sim for that initial sales period until that sim gets better at it, then yeah, staying with the smaller, cheaper store is really, really gonna benefit us in the end. And that's why I chose to go with this. Now, it's not an ugly store, it's just not as fancy as I would have liked it to be. That's all. I would have liked to have, done like high end, unique, fancy gem shop or something. Maybe something a little more on the mystical side of things. But for now, we're in a strip mall without the rest of the mall, just us. I also picked the smallest, cheapest lots I could think of. Now, if you can find a cheaper lot than the two tiniest lots in Newcrest, remind me where they are, because these were the only two. I think these were what, 1,500 simoleons. I feel like these are the cheapest lots that you can get in the game. I'm pretty sure. Fairly sure, anyways. So, as you saw there, I went from a dark, kind of moody look to a more light and airy look. I don't know why. I really wanted to go for the dark and moody look, and I wanted it to be wood. I know the obvious choice should have been to use the new wallpaper that came with the pack, but I wanted to save that maybe for our fancy jewelry shop in the future or for our house, more likely. When I think of jewelry store, I think of wood walls and wood floors and fancy lighting everywhere. I don't know, maybe that's just me. I've only ever been in a couple of jewelry stores. I don't wear jewelry like at all. So I've only been in a couple, so I don't really know what they look like. But to me, wood paneling, like the fancy kind, not like the cheap 70s and 80s stuff. Oh, while I'm thinking about it, those spa day shelves, I don't know yet that we can actually use those. I'm crossing my fingers and really, really hoping that we can use them. at least for like maybe the earrings or the bracelets or something. Something small like that. I'm fairly sure we can, but I do have a backup plan in case we can't. But I really want to use those. So cross your fingers and hope that we can use those because I think those would be the perfect places to display the bracelets and the earrings. But yeah, anyways, light, airy, yeah. Nothing too fancy, very strip mall like. That's the vibe I was going for, and I think I pulled it off really well. Strip mall jewelry store, as sad as that is. But we gotta start somewhere, right? We gotta start at the bottom and work our way up. And it's going really fast so far, like really fast so far. So I suspect we'll be able to buy a better jewelry store very, very soon, especially selling the jewelry at a shop instead of just a yard sale probably will get more sales. I mean, I can't be 100% sure about that, but I think as you level up your business, you do get more and more sales and more Sims show up. Whereas with yard sales, it's always the same number, it never changes, I don't think. So, yeah, I'm hoping that in a few episodes maximum, like maybe that's our ultimate goal. A big fancy jewelry shop and a fancy little house and a million simoleons, you know? Like the million simoleons, that's definitely our ultimate goal. The challenge will have been completed if we hit a million simoleons, but like maybe aiming for a fancy little mystical jewel shop and not a huge mansion because mansions are scary to me. I don't want to build a mansion. I am not that good of a builder. But like a fancy little house. We can make a little house fancy. Anyways, it did actually turn out kind of cute in the end. I've got a couple more things here that I'm gonna place outside just to give it some more curb appeal. If there's anything else that you can think of that I could add to give it, like, to draw the Sims in more, I know there are a couple of objects that literally draw the Sims in more. I think the open sign might be one of them, but I didn't quite want to go that far. Not jewelry store, but I didn't want to go quite that far strip mall by having a big neon open sign on the front of the building. But I think that sign that I put out in the front, I think that's one of the things that does draw Sims in. I'm fairly sure it is. I could be wrong. I could be remembering wrong. I could be remembering something from The Sims 2 or The Sims 3 for all I know. But I think it does. We'll find out. We'll find out what it does. And then I just kind of fill the rest of the yard up with trees and I get rid of the bushes. It's just a yard of trees basically. So now that we're pretty much done, let's go ahead and get into the first person walkthrough here so we can see what this looks like. See, so it's not so bad. Very strip mall vibes, but still, it's not so ugly that you can't stand to look at it. I mean, it could be better, but anyways, you enter into the front door and you're in the main showroom. Everything has a nice display area that has lots of room around it for the Sims to kind of congregate and look at each of the pieces. And then you have a bathroom for the customers, nothing fancy, just soap, toilet, paper dispenser, and then a break room for the employees. And that's where my Sim will be doing the jewelry making. So, all in all, for a tiny little starter jewelry shop, it actually turned out kind of cute, I feel like. Yeah, I forgot to say this at the beginning again, and I meant to. So, if you're enjoying this series, if you're enjoying my channel, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and turn on notifications. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.